After the first game, I thought Sunderland was really good. Then I saw West Ham Chelsea, and I realized
West Ham is really bad.
So you have Oli players, you have Ten Hag players, now you have Amorim players, and you have to fit in all of them into one system. And that, when the managers are of similar philosophies, then it's seamless, kind of. Do you understand? But when you bring players from different places and you want to fit them in such a short period of time, you kind of have problems.
Is West Ham trying to get into Europe, which we all assume that is where West Ham should be? Or are they trying to escape relegation? Because that will even inform the kind of players they should buy. If you are buying a Todibo, I don't think you are buying Todibo and Maskilman to be fighting relegation battle. These are players that should packet. These are players that should be playing on the continent.
This is the Sports Lounge.
Welcome to the home of the Sports Lounge.
Welcome to our YouTube channel.
Welcome to our YouTube channel.
Don't forget to like, leave a comment, and subscribe.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment.
So click on the subscribe button and let's stay updated with all the happenings, all the interesting conversations in the world of sports. All right, a lot of clubs have been given new tools to work with. And we're going to talk about that later on in the show. But Ifedotun, football's back. Premier League, La Liga, Bundesliga, we still came back a hat-trick again. It's just so easy for me, man. But for you, what's the biggest surprise from this past weekend of football?
I think, I kind of noticed after week 1, but it became a lot clearer after the first game in week 2. I think West Ham is a really bad team. Jesus Christ. So I seen them lose to Sunderland on weekend, and the assumption was the new guys always go back. I mean, that's been the trend in recent years and all of that. So you just assume that Sunderland, West Ham is close to the drop. You want to show your dominance, your authority on the new boys and say, okay, we're here to stay, you guys are going back down. And they lost not 1-0, not 2-0, it was 3-0. Yes, it was an away game and all of that, but it's a new team. You have to find a way to be. I mean, I'm not putting Everton in this bracket because it was 1-0 penalty. Some people say it's an unfortunate penalty, but that's away from the discussion. So it's 3-0 to a newly promoted team. Then your next game is 5-1. Now I understand that Chelsea is a good team, world champions, blah blah blah.
They were easily
there's nothing that West Ham can point to as a positive. Absolutely nothing they can point to as a positive in the first 2 games. So it's very worrying. It's very unsettling, and it's not just West Ham that picked my eye on the first day. So it was more of the current teams in the league: West Ham, Wolves, and Brentford. So Brentford too, because the manager has changed obviously. With Wolves, the person that was supposed to be like a starlight in their team has left. The other person that managed to do a couple of things that season is probably one leg out, and that's Strand Larsen up front. So you're looking at those teams. Sorry?
Lost itinerary also.
Yeah, so you're looking at those teams, and these teams finished 16th and 17th last season. So you're looking at them and you're like, for a team as big as West Ham, with the history that they have, the type of stadium that they have, the type of I don't know, it's just like a feel-good London club, do you understand? To go back to the Championship is actually looking like a real possibility this time around.
Interesting. And Tommy, the angle I'm going to bring it to you in is, I mean, this season we've seen a lot of transfers from the clubs in Premier League, but West Ham actually one of the teams that didn't really invest. So do you think there's that? What contributed to this is the fact that they probably will be left behind without, upgrading their squad. For example, we saw the midfield pairing of Ward-Prowse and Souček. To me, that's not good enough.
That's League 2 level.
Exactly. These are not bad players, but they don't look like the combo you should have in that kind of this. So do you think that lack of investment is what has brought them to this very poor start?
So I'll start from this note. I thought after the first game, I thought Sunderland was really good. Then I saw West Ham Chelsea, and I realized
West Ham is really bad.
Because even in the Sunderland game, the first half, West Ham controlled that game more or less. They were in control of that game, and that game they didn't play Souček and Ward-Prowse. They played Gudo Rodriguez and Ward-Prowse, which Gudo is a more defensive-minded midfielder. So it looked like it was going to work. And I was saying something earlier, Offset, that West Ham team is not a bad team. I don't think the quality of that team should be, and it's not just them. He made a point about Everton, but I think Everton Leeds was even bad for Everton because Leeds wasted chances.
A lot of chances.
Leeds wasted, and I look at now. It's not even. At least Everton have midfielders. They played about 5 of them at the same time. team, Irobam, that Nigerian boy, James Garner from United, Ghana. They played all of them, and they just go into the market here. The question is your identity. What are you? What is West Ham? You know, we've been saying about a team like Tottenham for like 20 years now. Like, what are you? We have to even know what you are before we now know the kind of players. Like, what are your objectives? Is West Ham trying to get into Europe, which we all assume that is where West Ham should be, or are they trying to escape relegation? Because that will even inform the kind of players they should buy. If you are buying a Todibo, I don't think you are buying Todibo and Max Kilman to be fighting relegation battle. These are players that should packet. These are players that should be playing on the continent. So maybe there's even a mixed match of identity in that West Ham squad, still from the manager. Because I'm asking myself, how does West Ham look that bad
this early?
Sunderland away, that's bad. Chelsea at home, where you can dig in, the likes of time of them Antonio, where you dig in and you just fight. And
they never really felt
there was
in
no
control
fight.
Of the game.
There was
just
no fight
after the first goal.
I started watching the game from Chaloba's goal. I think that's his last goal. Like, that's how bad. I started watching the game from Chaloba's goal, and even and that time Chelsea was costing. I could still see how Neto killed like about 4 transitions in this small 20. How many minutes I watched? It was that bad. And you're looking at Wan-Bissaka, he's an experienced defender. Max Kilman, proper defender. Todibo, proper defender. Kawaka Peters brought him on. Like, what is going on? I don't even think yes, they did not do much business here, but Liverpool didn't do business last summer and they won the league.
That's an anomaly.
No. I'm trying to say that if you know what you are doing, you just, it's not, especially in West Ham space, in that their area, they are on paper they should be a lot better than all these people we are talking about.
I agree with you on that. I just feel like the problem is from upstairs. It's not necessarily on the pitch. So we're looking at West Ham's last 3 managers in Moyes, Lopetegui, and Potter. I don't think we can get any similarity between the 3 of them. And they're all using the same players. And that's even my ideology 101 about football. Managers should not have full control of transfer window. Simple. And the reason is because the managers get 2-3 year contracts. The players get maybe 4-5 year contracts.
Chelsea
so the typical Chelsea have 8. So the typical player will outlive the manager. So why is the manager deciding when he will be gone before such a person? I mean, we've seen instances everywhere. You look at United players, you say you have Mourinho players, you have is there still Van Gaal player? Yes, there's still one. I'm sure it's still there.
There's still one Van Gaal.
You have some Van Gaal players. You have Mourinho players.
It's a fake player, self.
No, it's a Van Gaal player. It's a Van Gaal player. Yeah, it was a Van Gaal player. So you have Oli players. You have
Ragnick.
The Ragnick bring anybody. So you have the Ten players. Now you have Amorim players, and you have to fit in all of them into one system. And that, when the managers are of similar philosophies, then it's seamless, kind of. Do you understand? But when you bring players from different places and you want to fit them in such a short period of time, you kind of have problems. Now there's some managers.
Is this some sort of a difference for Potter?
No. So it's
because I mean, we saw him in Brighton, and he was one of the brightest prospects as a manager.
So Brighton did what we are talking about. They did what we are talking about.
Potter, Zebi, Ralph is the same
ideology,
exactly. Literally the same football.
So this is on the West Ham board.
Yeah, that's my point exactly. So you look at the type of players that you. I mean, I'm not saying Potter is a good manager or a bad manager. That's discussion for another day. My point is, if you think Graham Potter, you're assuming his team will play a certain type of way. The players in West Ham, are they the type of players that you assume will play that certain type of play? I don't think so. So it's more of, why do you bring this manager to coach these players? What are you trying to achieve? So even if you have a long-term plan, you should have certain landmarks in between that show that you're on the right direction.
Sure.
And my problem, the reason why I even think the reason why that my thought of managers not is because when you tell the manager to go, then you're at a crossroads. Is it that you believe in the long-term plan and you don't believe the manager can take you there, so you bring in another similar manager to push on, or you don't believe in the plan at all, so you crash it and start again? Let's look at Chelsea. Chelsea want to they played 3 Champions League finals and they've won 2 of them. In all 3 seasons, the manager that came in mid-season. Grant in 08, Di Matteo in 2012, Tuchel in 2021. None of them started the season. What they did was they used what was on ground, and that's because they mostly bended their ideology to fit what was on ground.
there.
A lot of people will not do that. They'll say, "This is what I want to do. This is what I want to do." So with Potter and West Ham, I just feel like it's forcing them to do what they don't want to do. Not necessarily. So it's not like there's a bad manager. It's not like there's a bad team. It's more of there's a mismatch in ideas, and the only person to blame for that is the person that put all of that together. When you're trying to do all these things, you're supposed to be a lot more intentional about, how is this going to be sustainable? Potter is not even a win now manager. So if you're saying you want to win now, how is it Potter that you're bringing? You probably bring in one of the guys, the mercenaries, maybe them police, Allardyce, those people that just win, just win and go forward. Even someone like Alan Padru, win and move forward, win and move forward. You can go back and bring his name skips my mind now. Jesus Christ.
Which one? Cobishley?
Not Cobishley. Not Redknapp. Roxy.
Please allow it. Please allow it.
So it's more of just know what you're doing first.
Yeah.
Right. You have a plan and it cascades downwards. Not like you're just trying to do road to the answer and all of that. It's simply not sustainable. Everybody's talking about Potter might be the first to lose his job, and a lot of people on the touchline waiting for him to lose that job, because you have someone like Nuno that has problems at Forest. You have someone like Postecoglou that's jobless at the moment. So, and the systems kind of fit match in a way, because you look at one who was able to do at Forest. His team is very gritty. The line is not high.
Great. I'm not sure
of that. For Postecoglou, I think that low line is not a stain he wants to play. So he'll probably one or two adjustments to the squad. It can tend to be pragmatic, like we saw in the Europa League final. Again, different occasions call for different measures, but I think it is the board first. All these people are just consequences. They are pawns and not.
I was listening to Antonio, where he said every year he will get told that they are getting another striker.
He will outplay the striker.
The next year they'll ban down. So it's obvious that West Ham has been wrongly put together. It is not a bad, on paper those names are no bad names. Like I use them in FMCF. Those names are no bad names, but it's just that you look at the team. They had Guti Rodriguez, Carlos Soler last season. They had about like 5 of them, and you're wondering how do you plan to play? There was a time I got dragged for saying Souček should not be starting in West Ham, because sincerely, forget a couple of headed goals,
they should have outgrown that.
He should not be there. Now they allowed Etienne Alvarez leave to Fenerbahce. Fenerbahce is in Europe. It shows you that if Fenerbahce can look at somebody in your midfield, then there's something wrong with you.
Fair enough.